Oh, an error occurred. Let me go live anyways. Hello, everyone. Can we all see me? Hello, thanks for joining in. Welcome to our first live event. If you can leave a quick comment and let me know if you can hear me, can see me properly, I would appreciate it. I see a lot of familiar names. Maya, my business partner, is here watching me, making sure I don't mess up. I see a lot of people from inside of our community. Welcome, guys. Becky, Alicia, Jennifer, welcome. There's also a lot of people from other dog communities. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Faith. I am the founder of Sniff Bark, a dog wear brand that is centered around safety, security, comfort, and also are very cute and have very beautiful packaging, very intentionally laid out there in the background. So just as a thank you for everybody who is joining in, all of you guys here will receive a $20 Sniff Bark gift card, as well as a $10 gift card to the Woofi shop. Both of them will be emailed to you at the end of the event, most likely tomorrow. So yeah, we will give a couple of more minutes for everyone to join. We had over 100 people RSVP for the event, so I'm very excited. Karina, welcome. Thank you for the comment. So yeah, we'll give a couple more minutes for everyone to join. So I will quickly go over the layout of the event and what we have planned for you guys. So we have invited Brian and Magda from the Woofi Show to talk about all things related to dog training, dog trainer. We have a lot of new dog parents in the community as well, so I'm sure we will all walk away with a lot of new knowledge and value. And now we have prepared a bunch of prizes for the event as well. We have 3 $50 Sniff Bark gift cards to give away, 1 mega bundle in a very beautiful box. Actually, I can show you guys. 1 mega bundle, a Sniff Bark mega bundle comes with a lockable harness, an unbreakable collar that comes with a bow tie or flower attachment, a leash, a poo bag holder, and a bandana. I have harness here that I can show you. Isn't it so beautiful? This is the purple daisy design, my favorite, size medium. Yeah, it's the best. And I have poo bag here as well. It's so cute. I will use this as a coin bag holder or something. Yep, very, very cute. So yeah, we have that. And for those of you, I think I said the $20 gift card. I'll say it again since we have a lot more people joining in. We also are giving away $20 Sniff Bark gift card and the $10 gift card to the Woofi shop for all of you guys here that are joining in. Carolina, thank you. I appreciate the comment. Chloe, welcome. So without further ado, I think I've covered all grounds. So yeah, without further ado, let's welcome our guests, Brian and Magda from the Woofi Show.
Yay!
Oh no, there we are. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
So I'm Brian.
Yes, and I'm Magda. And yes, we are so excited to be here. So thank you for hosting us.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. So why don't you guys start by, actually, everyone, can you just leave a quick comment letting us know if we can hear Brian and Magda well, just to make sure.
Yeah, that's true. I guess so.
I hope you guys can hear us because otherwise this will be pointless.
Jennifer said we ordered the purple daisy pack. It's my favorite design. Marianne, you're here. Marianne is so encouraging to us and Maya all the time. Perfect.
All right. Yes, we can. All right. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, and this is Maple. She needs an introduction too. So she's our little Nova Scotia dog trolling retriever. And she's been with us for almost 2 years now.
Almost, yeah.
And she has literally changed our lives. So this is our inspiration here, right there. And if anyone knows anything about dogs, she is a sporting breed, which requires a job. So whether it's hunting or dog sports or field work or scent, whatever. And so she kind of allowed us to, she's so cute. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is why we decided to do all these training courses and events and kind of be involved so heavily into the dog world because of her. Like, this is just literally what she needs, which is why we are here. And
Yeah.
and why our podcast happened, because we were just with the right people, constantly trying to improve on our knowledge and constantly trying to teach our dog things so that she's a well-rounded dog. And yeah, so about Woofi Show.
Yeah, so the Woofi Show. That's ours too. So the Woofi Show, what we've learned being really involved in the dog kind of community is there's a ton of knowledge. I mean, I'm sure especially any of you are new pet parents, there's so many ways to do so many things and everyone says do it this way and all of that. But everyone has their own way and they want to do it, their own way. So we decided to start a podcast where we interview kind of different guests, different experts, all to do with dogs. So not just training. We've had vets, groomers, nutritionists, chiropractor. Yeah, dog chiropractic is a thing. It's very interesting. So we want a platform to share all of this information so everybody can kind of learn more just about dogs in general and how to kind of be the best dog parent you can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about just embracing the diversity of the dog world because it's so diverse. You're not going to teach a pet the same way you're going to teach a dog that's into sports or you want to, do certain types of job with that dog. Yeah. So we just kind of want to embrace the non-toxic environment for the dog parents and really just asking for people to be open-minded and embrace all of it, right? Because there's no one way that fits all.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's why I really enjoyed your guys' YouTube channel too, is how open-minded you were and how you were just open to learn new things. And as that when I was doing research or in some dog communities, it can feel a little bit intimidating and toxic at times where I don't know if I'm saying the wrong thing. I don't know if I can ask this. Is it stupid to ask something like this? Do I come off as a bad dog parent? So, I'm going
to actually ask a question to the viewers. Have you ever felt like nervous to ask a question in some sort of Facebook group or some sort of forum because you're nervous of like the kind of
that you're going to be judged? Right?
Is that something I know even for us we have felt? Just wondering if anyone else kind of feels that way, where they're a bit too nervous to like ask for help in kind of public forums. So let us know in the chat if that's you. Don't feel bad because we definitely are like that. So. Yeah.
But yeah, in our kind of space, what we try to create is just no judgment, no toxicity. There's no space for big egos. It's all about just being supportive and proactive and just, express your love for the dogs. That's it.
The pup's here.
The puppy
Marianne, she's right in the middle. She's
sleeping.
She's tired. We made sure we exercised her a lot today. So she doesn't. Sometimes she's really annoying when we do these. So we have treats though. So if you want to see her, just let us know. We'll give her a treat so her head pops up.
Yes, she is. There we go.
I also think I forgot to mention, to win the prizes, we will pick the winners from the comment section at the end of the show. So make sure to engage and interact with us. Don't feel shy to ask any questions you have. I will make sure to catch them and bring it to our conversation when we can. So great. I think that was a great introduction. People have a little bit more context of who you are. If you want to find out more about Brian and Magda, just search the Woofi Show on YouTube channel and then Google the Woofi Shop. I think it's the first that came up when I searched for it. So there. So why don't we jump right into the list of questions we have? We have a lot of new dog parents, and this is something that has, I'm sure, crossed all of our minds when we have a new puppy. So the first question is, do you need a dog trainer?
Yes.
Depends. I guess yes. We were talking about this last night of like the good things. You go first.
Well, the thing is, when you think of a dog trainer, right, it's like our mentality is that you as a dog parent, when you pick up that puppy, you ultimately sign up to be a dog trainer. Like, it is what it is. Like, you have to be the dog trainer for your dog because ultimately you're the one who lives with your dog and you want to have a good behaved and peaceful life, right? So you have to kind of be proactive to educate yourself as much as possible in order to provide your dog with all the knowledge and all the skills that it needs. However, there are instances, obviously, where a dog will misbehave or like do certain things, and dog parents can't really pinpoint exactly what it is that is causing that behavior. In that instance, when you feel like you're just kind of helpless or you're a bit confused of, why is this happening to me? Then go and reach out to a dog trainer.
Yeah, and then to add on, and this is more about not a like one-on-one trainer, but again, this is mainly for like new dog owners, new pet parents. For training classes are very good because you can learn everything on YouTube, to be honest, and on the internet.
Yeah.
But to get your dog, so your dog, like Maple, is extremely well behaved in this room, in our house, in the basement. But you go to a park or whatever, her basic commands she might forget. So learning the basic things like sit, stay, down, your basic obedience classes. Yeah, fine, you can teach your own dog, but having them do it when there's other dogs around in a new environment, that's very helpful because that's not something that you always do. You don't go to not everybody. I mean, we do. You don't go to the park and practice training. A lot of people don't do that kind of thing. So the training is good, or a dog trainer is good, or training classes to just kind of get the dog outside of the comfort zone. So
I see.
Yeah, and build those skills to be able to handle situations with distractions, right? Because a dog can be an angel in your own house, but like you take it outside in a dog park or wherever and they turn into a demon, right? So when you use a dog training class, you're basically exposing your dog to a different environment, which is great. And so it doesn't mean that every case is different, right?
Yes.
So like if you feel like your dog could benefit from being socialized and to have that exposure to different environments, then yes, go ahead and do your dog training classes or the one-on-one dog training sessions if there are specific issues such as reactivity or your dog has anxiety issues or whatever. Then that's helpful. But ultimately, I don't think you definitely need a dog trainer because you should be the dog trainer for your dog.
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. So it's not just the dog trainer, him or herself, that will benefit the dog. It's also the environment, or maybe training with a group or different stimuli that will just introduce more variables. Okay, so we also have a lot of good questions.
We do, yes. I'm going to answer one really quickly because it was just on the topic of socializing. So there was somebody, I can't scroll up, my laptop's kind of far away, said that your dog is very shy and they're 4 months old. So it's a 4-month-old dog. And I want to answer that because we had the same problem. So with Maple, when we took her to puppy classes, so she was 3 months, because we got a bit delayed because of her vaccines. She was about 3 months old, and we took her to her very first puppy class. And it was twice a week, hour long or 45 minutes. And for most of it, all of it but the last one, she was hid in the corner. She was scared. She didn't want to play with any other dogs. So and we were all like worried. Is she broken? No, not that she's broken, but like, why is she behaving this way? And we just kind of like let it happen. And she just kind of came out of her shell. But we never like forced her to be uncomfortable, but it was like, hey, let's go to do this class or let's go to this place. And for you, it's just keep working on it. Shy dogs is just because they haven't been in that situation enough as well.
Yeah. Sometimes a shy dog just needs that time. Yeah. Like that's the thing with dog training, right? Like people expect things to happen like this.
Or you do a 4-week course or a 6-week course and you're going to learn all that. No.
And dog training is a lifelong thing. There's no start, there's no end. It should be a lifelong thing. From the time you pick up your puppy to the time they die, you constantly like try to, kind of embed certain behaviors, right? So with shy dogs, it's just maybe you're giving that dog too much stimuli.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just getting overwhelmed. That's the problem, right? So maybe try to just do one-on-one kind of slow introductions with dogs.
Or like train them while there's other dogs around, just so that they're not focused on like what's going on. So they're still focused on you, but they're used to the noises and the smells because we had that exact same problem. And then all of a sudden, just one day it clicked but it took a while. It took a couple months until she was like that. So she was close to like 6 months before.
To be honest, I would rather have a dog who's shy to other dogs than a dog who just can't get enough of other dogs, because that means that you are more important.
That's true.
And that's what you should be. Yeah. You should be the ultimate reward, the ultimate person they want to hang out with, not other dogs, right? But socializing is important.
There's like a ton of questions. This is crazy.
Yeah, I see.
I can't keep up. So Faith.
Yeah, I see a lot of good questions. One of them is actually in our list of questions. So this one is from Alicia. Top 3 qualities we should look for in a dog trainer. We talk. You guys go.
One of the questions we were going to get you to ask us anyway.
What was the question, sir?
Top 3 qualities to look for in a dog trainer. We were talking about that. Okay, so this one's interesting. So we're going to probably answer another question, and we're going to talk about the dog trainer certification now.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe let's just answer that question first.
The biggest thing is
communication.
Communication is a huge thing. So if you have a question and it's like you have a specific situation and you reach out and they're fully willing to answer your emails or your message on social media or phone calls, and they're open to help you in a sense for free, that's a huge thing. If right away they're like, sign up to my class instead, or buy an hour, then that's kind of like they don't really care. They just want the money.
A lot of dog trainers will also do meet and greet, where you can actually meet, like especially when you do one-on-one training sessions, you can meet with that dog trainer, and then your dog can get used to that person and see how they interact with each other, which is quite nice. It doesn't happen necessarily when you do classes, but I know it happens
like a
one-on-one
training.
One-on-one trainers do provide that as well, which is a huge green flag. Like, okay, let's meet up, let's have a chat, I'll let you meet my dog and let's discuss the problems and goals that we have. So that's a huge thing. Also, another thing that you should be looking for when it comes to dog trainer is somebody who wants to train you as a person and not necessarily the dog.
Yes. And that might go with the board and train question that I saw earlier, because it's more dog training. Is the trainers, it's like they're mostly teaching you how to do it, because you can only learn so much in an hour session. It's up to you to continue to do that, whatever you learned in that hour,
over again,
to keep doing it. So if you don't understand what they're doing with the dog and they don't want to show you that means they're just being greedy and they don't want to, because they just want you to keep, just like a gym personal trainer. At the end of the day, they want you to keep hiring them. So they'll help you, but only a little bit. Yeah. So that's a big thing they're teaching you as the dog parent, dog owner, just as much as they're teaching the dog. Like I said, they should be coming to you for advice, not being like, here, give me your dog, I will do it for you. Like it should be like that. So
because that's passive, that's lazy, and I don't think that will ever work. Like same with dog like board and train sessions. I'm not a huge believer in it, because it means that the trainer takes your dog, they work on your dog for like a week or 2 or whatever. And, these sessions are expensive. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. They're like $3,000, if not more, for these board and trains. Yeah. And you don't know exactly what they're doing with your dog. That dog could be stuck in a kennel this whole time, and they could be claiming that things are improving, and not be very honest about things that need working on, because they're trying to elevate, that they're effective. But then your dog will go home and they will just go back to their old ways, because you were not trained as a dog parent of how to handle your dog afterwards.
Right. Yeah, I think this answers Jennifer and Chloe's question. Yes. Jennifer was also saying that is it better to do a dog day camp, which is similar to board and train, I guess, maybe just in a day? Is that what?
So I've never even heard of that, to be honest.
It's a boot camp for dogs. But like, are you involved as a parent?
I think that's the biggest thing is you have to be involved. And when we do training classes as well, like when she was a puppy, we were at both of them. We were always, and we were the people, we would always need an extra chair. We were involved and we would take turns.
Yeah,
so it's like they would teach us a skill and it helps because we're both involved. I know some people don't have someone else to be involved, but it helps because then we help each other. Be like, oh no, you're supposed to do it this way, and so that's what it's about. So the problem, with the day camps or board and train is you're not fully involved, so you're not learning what they're teaching the dog. Because at the end of the day, as we said, you are the dog trainer. Because after the class, after the boarding, after the 6-week class, the couple hour sessions, it's your responsibility to continue that training. And if you don't, you're not, just like humans.
It's just not going to work. Yeah. The more dog practices a bad behavior, the more it's reinforced. Yeah. So if you know how to reinforce a positive behavior in a dog, then it's just useless. Like you literally putting money into something that's just not going to work. This is why we are always both involved in the dog training classes, so that we are both aware fully of how to continue that training.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And this doesn't just apply to puppies as well. If you have a grown dog or a dog that you adopted from the shelter, you can also benefit from this. I see a comment from Maya. Not all dogs are puppies. A lot of amazing people adopt a full-grown dog that also needs help. So
yeah, and so when we have, because a lot of people have rescue dogs and it's not basic training, they have aggressive problems or anxiety, things that are pretty extreme, that is where you will need the intervention and help from a very qualified trainer.
And I would probably recommend a one-on-one training rather than in a group setting, because the group setting will be a trigger for your dog.
And you might have to, and that's the thing. I don't ever understand why a dog trainer should be like, leave the dog with me. That makes no sense to me why they do that. And unfortunately, some of them do that because what do they afterwards? It's like, here's the report of everything we did. And it's like, well, how well? You're not seeing the improvements. You're not seeing what the trainer's doing. So say, for example, you have an aggressive dog and things are getting better, but all of a sudden it kind of goes back to normal. And then now, okay, let's go back a step. I remember on session 3, they did this. Let's try to backtrack and maybe walk on the other side of the road, for example.
But just because your dog is in puppy, obviously puppies are a lot easier to train, right? Because they start young, they don't have that time to develop these, bad habits and things like that. But then if you do rescue an older dog, it's great because you don't have these puppy behaviors, which are annoying. Yeah. You don't need to potty train them or anything like that. So you already have some type of baseline, but that dog can come with a lot of problems. And it doesn't mean that this dog is not trainable. Like, it's absolutely trainable. It's just you might need some help from a professional to really identify what are the exact triggers, the exact problems, right? Because you might not be aware. Like, for instance, you can go outside on a street, go for a walk, and your dog will be reactive to a person. Now, a dog trainer will be able to identify specifically whether this dog is reactive to a man, a woman, maybe someone who's wearing a funny hat, and then you can actually start working on how to fix that problem, because not all dogs are reactive to everybody. Yeah. Like, they can just be reactive to kids, for instance.
There was a question, why did some dogs, like females or men, I can't remember what it said, but yeah. There's so many questions. It is hard because I'm trying to read them, and if I can answer more than one in a go.
There are just, dogs have their own personalities, and I think that they all have their preferences towards people, and it just depends on how they were brought up as well, and what type of experiences they had.
Right. Yeah. Talking about dogs having personality, some of them have very big ones too. So it's also very important to kind of get to know the trainer, see them interact, and see if the trainer work with your dog's temperament as well. This is also one of the questions we had.
Yeah, a big green flag for a dog trainer is someone who can actually who understands your dog breed, for instance, or who understands your dog, who wants to understand your dog. Like, our dog is shy. She's kind of she's not really a people person. She just doesn't care. And a dog trainer has to understand that, right? Like, they have to be aware that she will not be particularly cuddly and stuff, right?
Yeah. And then the same thing with specific dogs. We had a groomer as a guest, if you do want to watch it at one of the podcast episodes. And one of them only deals with reactive dogs. So grooming, and the whole point was educating people that even though you have a reactive dog, they can still go to grooming salons. They can still go look beautiful or pretty afterwards. But it's because her whole life, all her dogs were reactive. So she has passion for that. And it's finding people that have been through what you have. They've have reactive dogs. They have the rescue malnourished dogs, and they've nursed them back to health. They have the crazy high energy sport dogs like border collies or Australian shepherds, or and that's what they're teaching. So it's finding the type of people. If somebody's a dog trainer and they've only ever had Shih Tzus and they want to train your lab, or I don't know, Doberman or something like that, maybe they're not the best trainer for you, and that's a big thing. Or shepherds too. It's finding somebody that has that experience and, with what you are trying to accomplish.
Whatever issue you're dealing with. Like some trainers have that expertise on working on reactivity and aggression, and that's great. Like that's the people you want to hire.
There's no trainer that can do everything. Sorry to say. There's not a trainer. If they're like, I can solve all your dog's problems, they're lying. They just want your money.
That's just, that's over-promising.
Yes.
You can't guarantee everything, right? And it's very important for a dog trainer to be really honest with you too, right? Be like, okay, we tried all these things that I'm aware of and I know how to do from like the classes that they've taken or whatever. It's just not working, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's try something different.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the red flags then, going off of what you guys were saying. So what are some of the red flags that we should be looking out for when trying to find the perfect dog trainer? And I think maybe we can also talk about credentials and certifications when we're on this topic.
Okay, I'm going to start with that. Do you have notes?
No, you can start with
okay. Now, this is a very interesting we learned.
This is like
official. This is a big misconception. There is no official certification for dog trainers. You can get certified, but there's no, it's not regulated. Right, that's the word. There is no dog trainers regulation body. There's even a post actually that the UK Kennel Club, which was the very, very first kennel club ever to exist, they actually just shared a post honestly like a week ago to say that we know the dog training world isn't regulated. They're trying to come up with something. So when someone says they're a certified dog trainer, what that means is they've taken some sort of online course. Now, I'm not saying that it's useless. There are a lot of like really good training schools that are online and things like that, and they teach you how to be a dog trainer, and they're good. But that doesn't mean anything. That just means they took a course that taught them how to be a dog trainer. It's like this.
Yeah.
That's what a certified. And there's different schools that people have been to.
This is pretty interesting.
That's the first thing that I want to, not that that's a red flag. Doesn't mean someone's lying when they said they're certified, but don't take that as everything.
What it means is that anybody, me, you, anyone in a chat can put after the name CDT, certified dog trainer, and that's okay. No one's going to tell you that's a wrong thing, right? So anyone can set up a dog school. Anyone can start selling a course for dog training. And then any of those platforms or websites that do set up a dog school, they can certify you. You can even certify yourself.
Yeah.
We can open up a school, a Woofi school, right?
Course.
And create a course and be like, okay, anyone who takes this course, they are officially certified in dog training by us, right? So there's a lot of scammy schools. There's a lot of just misconceptions that if someone says they're certified dog trainers, that means that they're legit. I'm not saying that there aren't schools that are recognized and there are actually good quality content that you can learn and do exams on. But these are just like basic things, right? That you go and you do your multiple choice questions, you answer it correctly, and then you get a stamp next to your name, but being like, you are certified.
So because 3 people have asked that. So service dogs. So now this is in Canada. There is now I'm not talking about just service dog trainings, but for a dog to be a service dog, they also do not need any paperwork because it's actually, and I only know this for Canada. For in the US, I don't know what the rules are, but it is illegal to ask someone for paperwork to prove that your dog is a service dog when you bring them into a store. Or, you know, some stores are like only service animals are welcome. They are not allowed to ask you. So even though your dog probably is, and it does have its certification says it's a service dog, if somebody comes up and asks you, they're not allowed to. And so you can deny them and be like, I don't have it with me.
Oh, I'm
How
not
dare
comfortable
you
sharing
deny
this.
me entrance to this store with my service dog?
Also,
and
they're not allowed to ask you exactly what disorder or like problem you have that your dog is servicing you.
Now, when it comes to service dog training, we don't have enough knowledge on that. So I don't want to answer any of that because I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm just letting you know in Canada that any dog, same thing, any dog can technically be a service dog. We know people that they just made their own little harnesses with their dog's name on it and service dog. They just got it like they made it themselves.
And we don't condone it, by the way.
No, don't do
that. It's wrong. It's a disservice to service dogs to do that. And why are we talking about service dogs?
It's because there's a lot of questions actually because we're reading on the topic of red flags. But no, the biggest red flags are, again, it's not certifications. It's trainers that don't want to communicate and they don't want to educate.
Also, the trainers that discourage you from looking up on content online, you know, to try to educate yourself. Like, the trainers that just plainly kind of say, oh, you know, all the content online, all the content on YouTube or TikTok or whatever is wrong. Like, you should listen to me. That's a red flag. It's like, why would you deny my freedom of trying to gain knowledge, right? Because there is no right way. Like, you can teach a dog to sit five different ways, right?
Not more.
Yeah, if not more. So why would you not want to go out there and do your research, you know, and try different things? That's a red flag to me.
Any other red flags? I think it's like just the opposite of what we said about the green flags.
Someone that doesn't want to teach you as a person. That's a red flag too. Someone that's just not honest about the progress that your dog is making. Like we have gone through that where we actually went to a dog training class and the dog trainer, like she was kind of window dressing how Maple was behaving. You know, it was in the obedience class. And we could hear Maple screaming because she wanted to go after us.
Oh, yeah.
And we asked the dog trainer, hey, how did she do? And she was like, oh, you know, she was okay. She was fine. And I'm like, no, she wasn't.
It was that thing where you leave your dog for 3 minutes, leave the room. It's part of like the canine good neighbor in Canada. I think it's something similar in the US. And so we took a class like that.
I would rather.
Oh, yeah. We heard our dog freaking out, you know, whining and, you know, screaming. That's what our dog does. She doesn't bark. She whines. She's like, oh, she was great. I was like, doesn't sound like she was great.
Yeah. I would rather you communicated honestly about the lack of progress that my dog is making so then I can actually, you know, work on things.
Yeah, at home. So.
Yeah, I think it's really good to know about the credentials and the regulating part of things because there are so many overwhelming amount of information out there, especially as a new dog parent. We want to rely on the knowledge of someone who, you know, has credentials, who has done research. That's why we don't really, we doubt doctors sometimes too, but we know they went through such strict training to be giving us the advice that they're giving. So yeah, it's really good to know so we don't blindly just trust any trainer without doing our due diligence. And like you said, communication. So that can be a really good green flag. I think a lot of it comes down to just intuition too. If you feel like something is off about the dog trainer, maybe dig deeper. Why does it feel off? Why is it not being transparent with me? Maybe this is not a good fit. So
or do a class, and if you don't like it, don't be afraid to leave or not leave. Don't be afraid to try someone else because not all trainers are the same. Not all the training's the same.
Yeah, and also like look at the reviews.
Yeah.
A lot of dog training facilities, dog trainers themselves have their own websites. They have reviews. Ask around. Maybe you know somebody who has trained their dog with this on that person. You know, just look at the reviews, look at the progress, look at the social media and how they're working with the dog, right? That's important. A lot of dog trainers are now starting to use social media to demonstrate their work, and I think that's great.
So,
right?
yeah, two things I'm going to quickly answer because of multiple questions. Favorite dog treats, pass that bag. Anything that's a dog treat from Costco. Anything that's like single ingredient. This is from Costco. I think it's in the US. This is literally chicken and blueberry.
This is $12, you guys.
Well, it's on sale.
Like, it's so cheap.
The maple's coming. Or, the beef liver ones. But Costco is a great place. They're like kind of training treats. They're all single ingredients. As for training, really quickly, we're going to talk about so for Maple, we worked with a trainer. She does like basic obedience, but she used to be a heavy machinery operator. That's what she did for years. She literally would be in construction sites, like, operate like driving really heavy kind of construction vehicles. And she got to the point where she got dogs. And so she is like one of the main performers for super dogs in Western Canada. And so Maple, I guess that was our story. Maple is on the super dogs performance team. And that's who we learned off of. That's who we look up to. And she didn't go to school. She didn't do courses. Yes, she works as like a part-time trainer. It's like when the super dogs is like more of a summer thing. So in the winter, she kind of trains. But she didn't have that certification background. She just was extremely passionate, and she got her multiple dogs. She has 6 now. One unfortunately passed away. 6 dogs that all perform at super dogs throughout their lives. So that's who you want to learn from. We do disc classes, like Frisbee classes, with a Canadian national champion. So we're lucky that there's one here in Calgary where we're from, where we live. And so that's what we look for. It's like you want
to
look
at
the best, but you want the
best. Look at the results, right? Like, look where this person has gone with their own dogs, and that's who you want to learn from. Because if a dog trainer can't teach their own dog certain things, then they're clearly not reliable.
Yes. So that was just to elaborate on the topic of dogs that, certifications or not, that doesn't mean anything. But the trainers, and again, this isn't basic obedience. This is sport training. But
people do the certifications. One of the major ones is Karen Pryor Academy, which is like really famous school, which has been set up by a dog trainer.
Yes.
Obviously, who else? And people take these courses because they want to stand out from the crowd, or they want to work for a facility which will look for these certifications, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not discrediting that the certifications don't mean anything. They do. They give you theory. It shows that the dog trainer is actually putting time into learning and things like that. So it's not all wasted, but then again, it depends what you want to do with your dog. Right. And you need to look at the results, I think, more than actually what's on paper.
Yes.
Great.
So,
I think Maple stole your last few seconds of the show. I just stopped listening once.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's fine. I know. She just came running in here all of a sudden.
Great. Okay. So maybe we can move on to some questions about training specifically. Yep. I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from this. I saw a few that's about potty training or socializing. So maybe we can start by asking for a new dog parent who are training their dogs, what are the top 3 or 5 things you will get started with training right away?
Okay, I'm gonna go first, and because I'm trying to read the questions as well while you guys are talking.
I'm not reading any questions.
So
I'm sorry.
The potty training and the pee pads. So that was a big one, and I know that you said the breeder started with the pee pads, and yeah, lesson number 1: try to never use them, and we started with those as well, but and we learned that was not a good idea. So if you can, for new pet parents and potty training, don't rely on people unless you live in an apartment or you can't. You know what I mean?
But
it's
you
hard
have
to get your
to
dog
bear
out.
in mind some people work.
Yes, I guess so. So I forgot. The problem with us is when we got a puppy, one of us was always home. But if for the person, I can't remember who asked the question about the pee pads, you can't get them off them, slowly move them closer and closer to the door. So then they know, okay, this is it. And then what you do is then move it outside. Just literally, and that's what we did. Yeah. We taped it right outside. We live in a house and on our deck. We were lucky we got her in the summer, so not the winter here in Canada. So it started by in her little playpen right outside her crate. We had a little area blocked off. Then we moved it into right where the back door was to go outside. And then we moved it outside. So that's kind of a good practice to potty train. Another quick tip for potty training is go outside with your dog. Literally, don't just open the door and wait, because they won't know Oddly enough, I honestly think Zach George, he's probably the biggest YouTube channel on dog training. His advice for potty training is really good. And it's going out there with your dog. And as soon as they go to the bathroom, have a marker word, go
yes,
pee-pee, or no, not that marker word. Like we say, hurry up. Because as adults, we don't want to be like, go pee-pee, hurry up, go pee-pee, because some people think it's funny. So we just tell her to hurry up. And when they do, reward them, whether it's you use a clicker, whether you say yes, and then bring them right back in. So then they did their what they had to do, and then they come in right away. So then and it takes months. It unfortunately takes a few months of constantly taking them maybe not.
I think your dog is fully potty trained if they've not had an accident for like 3 months.
Yeah. I think that's like the official, unofficial thing. So pee pads are good, but slowly move them towards the outside. Some people use bells. We never learned that. I could not imagine our dog ringing a bell in the middle of the night to go outside. It would drive me nuts. So personally, I wouldn't want to use it, but I know a lot of people do use bells.
I think what's kind of sufficient for a dog is just stand by the door, and kind of like Maple will just nod her head at the door like this, right?
So that's the biggest
I'm like,
thing.
okay, I get it. Like you want to go outside, right? But then there's not annoying bell ringing.
And then another thing, this is like a brand new puppy. We're talking like, a couple months at most. They won't pee unless they have like bowel problems or use the bathroom in their crate or bed. And I know some people are against crate training and crates and all of that, but it teaches them to like, if you let them out and they don't go pee, you put them in the crate. You wait 20 minutes, then you try again. Because then they'll be like, oh, I'm in this little, and they like enclosed spaces. They do. It's like a den to them. But that's something that you do. And then if you take them outside, they don't pee, and then they come inside and pee right away, they're not learning. So that's a big thing on crate training. We do have a podcast episode on the advantages of crate training, so we don't have to get into that.
It's great for potty training.
Yeah.
So like if anyone wants to potty train a dog, they should probably utilize a crate too.
Imperative
if they want to.
We personally believe kennel training is extremely important. Just to go on that, more for the sake of, cool, your dog might not be in a kennel very often. Maple is sometimes. If we are both going out, we like to put her in there. But it's more for emergencies. When you go to a vet, they're in a kennel. If you're in a car and you're on a long trip or something like that, they're in a kennel. And so it's getting them used to it so that if an emergency does happen, say, and they have to go in a kennel or a crate, they're not free, like completely, because some dogs will injure themselves. They will scratch at it. They will bang. They will dig. They'll do whatever they can.
Crate training is a life skill. It's just a skill that your dog should know how to.
There's a tip. There's a training tip. Doesn't matter if you have a brand new puppy, a rescue dog, a 4-year-old dog you got from somebody who didn't want it anymore, and they're not crate trained. I think that's a huge thing. There are tons of resources on different ways to do it, on how to train it. Some people, we fed Maple for the first couple of weeks.
I think that the reason why people disagree with crate training is because of like the unethical connotations to it. And it doesn't have to be unethical as long as you don't leave your dog there for 8 hours, right? Or like 8+ hours, just take it easy. Put your dog in there for 5 minutes, then put them for 15, then for an hour. And that's how you build it up and build up that positive association with the crate. That's very important. Don't just like jump into it. But the thing is, if you don't teach your dog those skills earlier on, when it does come time for them to be in a crate, they will have a meltdown and you will have to stop. It's just going to be harder for you.
Right. And then, cozy, like someone just commented, it is a lot of dogs. It's their safe space. Like we dog sit a dog sometimes and she just goes in there on her own. She's like, it's 8 p.m. She goes to bed really. Her family goes to bed really early. It's bedtime. The only thing, I know Alicia said cozy, making it cozy, which is blankets. It took a while. Maple didn't like blankets at first in beds. Be careful with toys. Just make sure when you put toys in the crate and they're unsupervised, just make sure they can't choke on them. So just
it has to be something like
that's
a
the only
Kong,
thing, with the
for
toys.
instance, or something that they can literally not destroy and not choke on, and it's absolutely safe.
Mainly
for this thing to
mostly
be there.
puppies, but if your dog has a favorite toy that they've had for years and they just love having it near them, then it's fine. But that's just the only thing, just because I saw that comment.
And also, with puppies too, like they can have accidents in a crate. Like it happens, right? So you don't want to put a fancy blanket in there. And also they can get bored and just start chewing on it. And then you spend $200 on a blanket that is going to be ruined. So maybe don't, just buy something cheaper.
I guess we'll wrap this up with the socialization. Should we want to go with that one?
Yeah, sure. I just want to quickly wrap up the crate training. I think it's really important. I also saw it on your podcast too, to have a positive association with it. I think there's so many misconceptions because when we imagine crate, we imagine like cages and like suffering. And
we compared it to jail. That's actually on the podcast. Exactly. Like we compared it to like humans being in jail, which it shouldn't be like that. But yes.
Right. So
but like if you put some fancy things in that crate for us humans and like start getting fed in there, it's kind of a nice space. It's kind of just, pretty calm and awesome. Like I wish I had a crate sometimes to just unwind.
But yeah, like you said, never use it as a punishment tool. If your dog does something bad or they have an accident in the house, don't throw them in the crate because then they know that as a punishment tool. Like, I mean, we're don't punish your dog like physically, but people give kids timeouts and stuff like that, but don't just throw them in the crate if they're misbehaving. Because like you said, it should be that safe space. Like I think Alicia mentioned.
I don't think we have ever like actually punished that dog.
No.
We have gave her a time out in another room because of like other dogs and she was kind of cranky with them.
Yes.
That's the only like time when we actually punished her.
It's just separating. We just like when
it's just creating
siblings
like space, right, between the
fight.
dogs. So I wouldn't really call it punishment. That's one of the red flags actually for the dog training. If your dog trainer uses punishment as like the main method of training, then that's a major red flag because like you should never really punish your dog. It should be a positive experience in my opinion.
Just because there's another crate question. Crate size. Especially if you get a puppy and as they're growing, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 crates.
4 crates.
We have one dog. We have 4 crates, obviously different sizes. So they need to be able to turn around in it and sit and like stand up. But I don't know, it's the same height. And as long as their head isn't like, they're not like crouching down and hurting their neck, they don't have to be able to sprawl out. If you do want to just get a bigger crate, a lot of people like when you get a puppy, you put dividers. So instead of this giant crate, at the start, you put in a divider so they only have half of it or a quarter of it or something like that. And then as they get bigger, either move that divider or buy another crate. So, but they have to be able to go in and turn around and they have to be able to like sit and like just kind of stand without them like crouch, like bending their neck.
It's important for it not to be too big because if it's too big, your dog will soil themselves in it. But it also can't be too small, right? Because
they'll get like joint
problems, and it's just not ethical for your dog to be stuck in a tiny little crate that is not suitable size for them. But what I would recommend is actually going to the pet stores and literally with your dog and putting your dog in the crate and seeing the size, how it fits and things like that. And once your dog is properly crate trained, you can actually increase the size of the crate, go bigger if you want them to be able to sprawl around a little bit more.
Maple's crate is massive, to be honest. She can like fully almost spread out.
She can spread out, but like she's crate trained now, right? We didn't start that way. We started with small and then you just kind of gradually increase it.
So you don't want it to be too big at the beginning for the reason that they might have accident in there.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Great. No. I saw a question a little bit early on about potty training. Since we're on the topic, she said, I forgot the name too. It's all the way up. She said the dog was doing really great for a while and then regressed. So in that situation, what do you do?
So as we mentioned, if you your dog is fully potty trained if they go 3 months. If they go 2 months and have an accident, and all of a sudden they have an accident, you got to start to day one again. So it's just going backwards. Sometimes they might because of like bowel problems or diarrhea, and so that's different. If a dog ate something funny and they have
a UTI, right?
Or like worms,
but
or
sometimes dogs rebel too, because they have their own personalities. And when they hit that teenage stage, that's when they try to test your patience. And they're like, okay, I'm just going to pee here and there and see what happens, right? And you just have to take that step back and literally start taking your dog outside as soon as this happens, right? Cleaning it up and then...
Yeah, and if it was just a one-off, and like I said, then it should be fine. But yeah, if you see they pee, even though they're done, take them outside right away. Or let them outside, and then that's when you clean it up afterwards. And make sure you get like the odor remover. So then, because
they don't
marking,
pee at the same time.
As we all, a lot of people know, your dogs will always go to the bathroom in like the same area of a backyard or whatever. So even if they have an accident, don't be like, oh, it's too late, and just let them keep roaming. Take them outside right away. So then they still get that association of, I just went pee and I'm outside. And it's just now watching them, and it's taking them out a bit more often. So instead of once every 6 hours or whatever, take them out once every 4 hours or once every 3 hours. And then wait till they go. As soon as you see they go, bring them back inside. Don't just let them roam and assume they went, because then you don't actually know.
Yeah, you have to supervise your dog. Unfortunately, that's your responsibility.
Marianne just said if dogs are sick. Yeah, I mean we have that sometimes. Maple will just a little bit of like bile, and it's just fine. It's just what dogs do. I think it's when they're hungry. I don't know. But that's not a big deal.
Dogs vomit. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like if you are concerned, then speak to your vet. Maybe, you know, they can do some testing, find out exactly what the problem is. Like we can't tell you exactly what's wrong with your dog when it vomits, right? But
hey, what'd you say? Okay. I think that answered that one.
Any more questions?
For that one? Oh, there's tons.
Move on to the next. I think Brian has something interrupted.
Oh, the socialization. That was what you said.
Yes.
So this one's hard. This one was hard for us because we had a bit of this is more of a puppy. We had a bit of a miscommunication with our vet and her vaccine. So she didn't get her very first one until she was 12 weeks old, which is 3 months. That's a long time to like not take your dog out. So we were a bit behind with it. So we kind of like, and this is the story when she was being really shy. And we thought, so socialization is really good to do. The biggest thing is start small. And just be careful how, if you go to puppy classes or young dog classes, just see how they do the classes. Some dogs might be really nervous. They might be very scared. And if they're being forced in this uncomfortable situation, it will be hard for them to get out of it. So it's always good to, never actually let dogs meet on a leash.
No, that's a big no.
Yeah. If you know family members, if you know people that have friends that have dogs, that's a great way to invite them over. Just a quick thing that we did, actually. So this is all over the world, I'm pretty sure. The app called Rover. It's like Airbnb, but for dogs. So you can like hire normal people to dog sit, daycare, dog walking, dog boarding, not training, just general boarding. And so we signed up. So we actually get dogs in that we take care of occasionally. And we did that because none of my family lives here. None of your family lives here. We're new in this city, so we didn't know anybody. So we did that to bring dogs into our house.
Yeah.
So Maple could play.
We could have like, play buddies to socialize her, to be used to other dogs being around. And it doesn't like expose her to too much because it's just one-on-one kind of dog. And then don't meet on leash, which is great.
Yeah,
right?
And that's a great thing to do, or let your dog go to doggy daycares. We're hit or miss on actual doggy daycares, but using this app that's Rover, and there's a lot of people there's a crazy big background check for this. Don't worry, not anyone can do this. So don't think the person to be a bad person, but putting your dog just for a half a day. We have dogs sometimes, we just have them for like 3 hours. And it's more just because they want to break. I think that one little dog, I think they just want a break for the day. So even doing that, if you don't have dogs around you, this is if your dog's like vaccinated, by the way, put them in places like this. If your dog's not socialized, don't take them to dog parks. Do not take them to like an off-leash dog park if they're not socialized.
Yeah,
but do crosses.
That's like a big mistake that we see dog parents do quite often is, they work all week and then at the weekend they will go to a dog park. And then this dog has been stuck at home this whole time. And then you expose them to this like super charged environment with other dogs running around and things like that. And that just it can be too much for a dog that's not actually ready for that. So you need to like take small steps first to socialize your dogs, to observe them, like always supervise puppies when they play together, because, you know, things can get a little rough and dogs need to learn from each other how to play properly. Yeah. Like that's the important thing. And you need to really watch them, that one dog isn't bullying another dog, right? So that accidents don't happen, so no one gets hurt.
And then for the question that Alicia and on Facebook, Christine, the reason why you don't let dogs meet on leash. Now, I guess there's a couple things. So I'm answering this.
Okay, yes.
You know, it's a husband and wife.
Dogs aren't meant to meet face to face. As you know, dogs will go and sniff the other dog's butt. That's how they get to know each other. So when dogs meet face to face, they don't like that because, like, you know, that's why they always try to go around. Dogs meeting on leash are fine if you're doing that, but make sure that the leash is loose. Don't have it so you're like holding it tight just in case they need that, because now they're like trapped. So say if they are a little bit nervous and scared, they can't like get away. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about not meeting on leash, if you want to do that, that's fine. It happens when we go for a walk sometimes. It's okay, but just make sure, dogs just don't like to meet face to face. They like to, you know, go to each other's butts, and just make sure the leash is loose. Play like the leash dance where you're kind of like passing them through each other because the dogs will start doing like circle. Just make sure, don't be like hanging on to your dog so the dog can't circle, you know. And that's what you have to do. It's kind of like, especially if you know, like we have a neighbor and we know the dog, and if we're out for a walk, we'll just like drop the leash because we know them, so it's okay. And they'll just kind of circle around each other and try to sniff each other. So that's kind of the whole leash thing. So yeah.
Are there any instances where you want to hold on to the leash, or it's just lack of knowledge? Because when I'm walking, I see a lot of dog parents holding to the leash when they see a stranger dog coming.
Well, it's because their dogs will, and we do it too, because their dogs will want to like go to your dog, and they're doing, because they don't, when someone holds onto the leash, they don't want their dog to meet your dog. It's just like, let's just go past you. And we do that too. It's like, get closer, you hold it lower. Some leashes even have like a leather handle on it, and it's just more of because they just want to carry on their walk. They don't want to stop, they don't want to talk to you, they don't care, they got their morning walk. And then again, if one dog starts growling, or that's when you're like, okay, let's separate them, kind of thing. But
so the reason why some dog parents like hold on to their dog because they don't want to meet another dog is because maybe their dog is like too crazy, you know. Maybe they just want to choose which dog your dog is meeting. Like, I think that's a great thing that dog parents don't allow other dogs to meet one another all the time. Because at the end of the day, your dog should be paying attention to you, not the other dog or the person that's walking that dog. Yeah. Ultimately, what you want to get to is your dog just completely ignoring another dog, or just lightly sniffing them and carrying on, right? Like, that's the point you want to get to. But like restricting the dog in that sense, it's kind of like it only encourages them to
That's like loose
lunge.
Leash walking training. That's just now you need to, like, if your dog is constantly lunging at another dog, then you need to learn.
They're being reactive, basically, and you just need to train them not to be reactive towards other dogs or people, and then you can let your dog meet on leash in a nice, polite manner. Right? Like, that's what we do. We just drop the leash sometimes if we know the dog and we just know that she just wants to sniff around, and then we carry on.
We don't want to get them all tangled. That's why we just let her walk around. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Maya said, why not play with another dog?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can let the dogs play. If you know the dog, especially, try it. But be ready to pull one of them away. And what you'll learn, I mean, you'll learn this too. Hopefully, if you do like
play?
Well, yeah, no, not on leash. Yeah, I wouldn't let them, because they're going to want to get closer and you're pulling on them, and that's like a negative association.
And dogs also act differently on leash than they do off leash.
I don't think people have seen little comics or memes where I can't remember, like a little dog is like growling at the bigger dog. There's this little cartoon like barking at it, and then the leash is gone. And it's just like, I'm scared. And it's true. All dogs like that, not all dogs, but a lot of dogs on leash they are a
different
bit
side
more.
of them.
Yeah, we've done that. We've taken Maple, like we'll take her to go check the mail without a leash, just cross the road. And another dog will walk by and she's perfectly fine. She doesn't care. She just sticks with us, you know, but she's on leash. She's like, I'm going to push my boundaries. So
yeah, so that's the reason why I think. And like, yeah, you don't want to let your dog play when they're on leash because then they don't have that freedom to run around, to escape, to really be dogs and like express that body language to another dog. I just wouldn't let that happen. I think it's quite dangerous too.
Yeah, well, because they can get caught and choked and things can get caught in collars and humans can get hands pinched and
yeah. Right. It's just chaos. Yes. Why would you want chaos in your life?
So I think it's important to just know your dog's temperament, know how they behave on leash, know how they behave when you let it loose a little bit. If the dog and the stranger dog are, having fun, enjoying a little bit, gentle socializing, I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
And this goes back to you should be your dog's trainer. So you know what? My dog's not in the mood today. They're a bit grumpy. I'm not going to let my dog meet your dog. And we do that sometimes.
And we constantly say no to people.
And don't feel,
oh, can my dog meet your dog? Like, no, sorry, we are training.
Or like if a little kid wants to come and pet your dog and you just don't want them to, do not feel
like
bad
you have to, right?
And just say no.
Like it's important for your dog to just be neutral to the environment. So then they don't get so aroused at everything, right? They don't get like, oh my God, this is crazy. I want everyone to pet me. Because that's not like building a character. That's not having a well-rounded, calm, sort of good dog, right? You're not setting them up for success. And I think it's important that your dog just kind of ignores the world around them a little bit.
Right.
Unless you give them a cue that it's okay. Like your dog will eventually learn to check in with you. Like for instance, we let her off leash and she will constantly, run a little bit and then she will look back and be like, checks in with you. Yeah. Is it okay? And I'm like, okay, go sniff. Yeah. Right. And then that's how you build that bond and that relationship. Is through this clear communication and these boundaries that you set for your dog.
Amazing. Great. So we covered potty training, crate training, socializing. What would you say the next thing is for dog parents?
I mean, it's very hard also to answer these questions without context, right? Like without really knowing like what is your individual situation.
I want to know, because we should have asked this a long time ago when we started this. Everyone that's in the chat, let us know what type of dog you have. That might also help with the context. And if it's a mixed breed, you can just say mixed breed. We're just curious. We actually are curious because it depends on the type of dog you have. Yeah, if you have a high energy working dog, they need constant training. It's why we do sports. It's why we constantly, whether it's do classes, watch YouTube videos, learn ourselves. If you have a Maltese, for example, because we get a Maltese over it, that dog doesn't need as much.
Well, they'll be trained differently. They also need training though, right? Because no matter what dog, small, large, big, whatever breed, they all need training, just maybe in a different way.
Well,
Dashies.
You're such a wide variety of dog breeds.
Jade's golden retriever pup is probably the size of our full. Your 5-month-old is probably the same size as our full-grown duck-toller retriever. Duck-tolling retriever. That's funny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of different dogs, so it's very hard to just kind of decide what's it. But we definitely think like the base. Every dog should know how to sit down,
basic
stay,
stuff. Yeah,
leave it, drop it. But it's something that you have to keep doing. And that's what we find is a lot of people will do a class, they'll do their puppy class, they'll think it's cute, they'll teach their dog how to leave it, and then they'll never do it again. And then you drop that food on the ground and they will go get it and they'll jump for it and fine. You drop a piece of cheese, no big deal. You drop a piece of meat, no big deal. You drop a raisin, a grape, that's a big deal.
Yeah, a chocolate bar?
Yes. Actually, I was in the vet once and this dog ate a whole bar of chocolate, a little tiny dog, and he was okay. So I was talking to the woman.
Yeah, but that means a big vet bill that you just don't want to pay.
That's the biggest thing is as we mentioned at the start, in case anyone was late, is dog training never ends. And it doesn't mean you have to reward your dog every single time, but occasionally, every couple of weeks, when you ask your dog to sit, give him a treat because they'll remember being like, hey, when I do this, I might get a treat. I might get rewarded. I might get something, or not even a treat, like give them praise, or, some people are more praise, give them a good boy, good girl, good dog, rub their belly, ear, whatever your dog likes. So that's the biggest thing is
whatever they find rewarding, just reward them from time to time. Even when your dog just chills next to you and they're being calm and super chill and just like good dogs, be like, okay, good girl, right?
You're doing a good thing.
Yeah. And they respond to that. They really remember every single positive interaction that they have with you. So it's important to reward even those little things all the time.
There's a specific question from Angela. How do you get them to ignore the world? I guess it comes down to
that is getting them to like you more. So there is I'll tell you the website actually, because it's pretty good. The Absolute Dog. So it's called like game-based training and like focus-based training. So a lot of training facilities will have their own like spin-offs of it to do like in-person classes. But the website is called Absolute Dogs, and they're a England-based training place. And they have this program. I honestly think it's like $30, and it's called Sexier Than a Squirrel. So it's like 30-day thing where you learn 30 different games to play, and it's making you as the dog parent sexier or more exciting than a squirrel or something moving fast. So it's fun game-based thing that's getting them to chase you. It's getting them to like, because we do it. It's getting them, you throw a treat as soon as they turn and look at you, you throw it the other way, so then they run at you. You just put treats on the floor near you. There's one where you have like a table and you just run around it, and as soon as they catch you, you reward them. Obviously, if you have a slower dog, don't run very fast.
It teaches your dog the recall as well, like a really good recall, which is important.
It's just teaching them that the fun and the rewards and the excitement are near you, and that's it. And even our dog, because there's the woman Janet that her dog, she teaches this program that she's like a certified absolute dog trainer, but her dogs only look at her. It's insane how like they'll run around in circles around her all the time. They're
the Cocker Spaniels.
Yeah, Cocker Spaniels. They'll like have like mini zoomies, but they'll just always be circling around her. And it's just so crazy to see, like, these dogs are so high energy but so focused on her, and because she just has fun. Don't treat training as boring. Sit, treat, have fun with it. And so it's called Absolute Dogs.
Really engage with your dog. But also, like, another thing to get your dog to ignore the world is to actually expose them to it.
That's true,
in small doses, right? Go to a store, go to go, for instance, somewhere there's a school and there's kids outside, and just get your dog to sit and just look look at the world go by, right? And then reward them for it. Be like, yes, good. Like, because they're not reacting, they're just there being exposed to a stimuli and just enjoying themselves, being calm. And that's a great thing, and you should reward that behavior. And it's something so minuscule, right? But it's important, because otherwise, and then your dog will go after those kids.
Yeah. And then what Maya said is right. The world is for them. Let them sniff. Don't have strict walks. I know with Maple, sometimes we'll have like, okay, for this next minute, you're walking next to us. You're going to in a nice heel or whatever. But then for 5 minutes, go and sniff. Let them stop walking. Let them sniff that spot.
They need to explore the world, because that's the only way that they can learn to ignore it and just be content with it, right? Everything, like, I think new dog parents need to get it into their head that the puppy, like, everything is new. Yes. Everything, like even silly things like a different texture on a carpet or a blanket that looks a little funny. Like everything, absolutely everything is new and exciting. And dogs are very like negative creatures, and they will find everything to be threatening. So they will get scared, or like they will respond in that flight or fight response, right, to everything. So it's important just to let them kind of expose that thing that's new in a controlled, slow manner, and just reward them for being calm. That's how you get them to ignore the world.
I also want to clarify, when we say we like wanting the world to disappear, wanting the dog to like us the most, it's not that we want to be self-absorbed. I think there are situations where there's danger, or you have to recall your dog. You have to tell a dog to stop, that they actually listen. So,
yes.
And that's what the training in the games, and that's why it says it never stops. Just doing a basic level obedience class. Cool. You just learned how to teach your dog basic obedience, so keep doing it. That's what it's for. So you're right. It is like that.
And then, when you're comfortable, you can just tell your dog, like once they know you are sexier than a squirrel, you can tell them like, oh, go see, or, go meet them, or go sniff. And they will then associate that, like they'll be so much less stressed.
Yes, right. Yeah. If your dog is ignoring everything else, then they would be depressed and probably be miserable. So you're right. If their tail wagging when they smell something, that's a good sign.
Yeah. It's not necessarily that you have to be in center of attention for your dog. It's more like you just want your dog not to be like aroused and stressed at every single situation, right? And to confine in you as their person that they can turn to and trust that everything's going to be okay.
I see some funny comments happening.
So wait, Marianne, does your female dog hump female dogs? Because
Maple
so does ours.
Yeah.
So it's they do, because we were curious, and just some dogs just do it when they're excited. It's not an alpha dog thing. She's not trying to have one up on another female dog. It's more of they're just really excited, and that's one of the ways they, as a female dog,
they're
of course,
aroused.
they're just
happy.
excited that they just don't know what to do with themselves. So Maple also does it with blankets. It's really, really weird, but she loves blankets. And if you have a blanket curled up, she'll try to like hump it. And I don't know. If it's lying down on the floor, nothing. But if it's like curled up, it's weird. But she just like, I don't know why, maybe.
It's just an animal behavior, right? It probably feels good to hump something. I don't know, but
that's
if it doesn't annoy you, like if you're okay with your dog doing that occasionally, then it's not a big deal, right? But if it becomes a problem and your dog is constantly humping, then maybe discourage that behavior.
I just saw one thing, that's why. I just wanted to make
okay, sorry.
That wasn't a question.
I thought that was a question about humping dogs, but
yeah, we are already, an hour has already passed. Time went by pretty fast. So we can go on for maybe 10-15 minutes. If the audience has any more questions that you want us to answer, please type it in the comments. If not, Brian, Magda, do you have anything that you think will be beneficial for the audience to know?
Everything. No, it's like we said, it's just you are I think what's the saying? Like, you are the best trainer for your dog. Yeah. There is no best. The best trainer is you.
It should be you.
Well, it should be you. Don't rely on someone else. Don't rely on a school, a person. At the end of the day, do your research. If you hire a trainer, the person that talked about some online app that's $34 a week to have video calls, try it. It's $34. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try a session with somebody. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Do your own research. Watch a YouTube video. If it doesn't make sense, if you don't understand it, find another YouTube video.
Yeah, or like
if your dog doesn't get it, find another way to do.
Yeah,
we've trained Maple probably like 100 tricks now, and some tricks we'll watch one way to do it, and she just doesn't get it, and we'll find another way to do it, and it's like, that makes way more sense. Let's teach it that way, especially for super dogs.
Yeah, it depends like what you've already taught your dog, and then kind of what's the stepping stone.
And only you know that, and a trainer's not going to be like, well, tell me everything your dog can do. They don't have time for that. So just remember that. What age to get a dog neutered?
That's a new trick question. Yeah. That's not dog training
like
specific.
We don't have an answer to that. We have a female dog, so we don't know yet.
Well,
we're not answering that. Don't even try to.
Yeah, no.
Okay, we have.
Although different vets will say different things, so just keep
talk to different vets, and then decide for yourself what you think is the right thing to do. There is no right time, to be honest. It's up to you.
Great. Okay, we have a question from Amy. My dog loves other dogs, but is scared of humans. How can we work on socializing with humans?
Get humans to learn how to in what instances is your dog scared of humans? When they're just walking past, minding their own business, or when they're actually trying to approach your dog?
Yeah, and I guess
it depends on the situation, right? Yeah. Like the best thing for a human to do is like if you meet someone new, like a postman or a neighbor or whatever, give them treats or give them something that your dog is excited about, like a toy
and I know that's hard.
And get down to their level. Appear non-threatening. So it's more for that other human to learn the skill rather than your dog. Because it's normal for a dog to be a little bit apprehensive sometimes about other human beings, right? It's a stranger. Like, I think that's perfectly fine. It's the way that the humans are maybe approaching your dog.
Yeah, maybe they had a bad experience. I know like Maple was struggle with kids because we have a bunch of little kids that live across, and they'll run and hands out and straight for the head. And that's not the way. So it's again, taking steps back. So find whether it's family members that you don't see very often or friends and be like, hey, if they come over to visit or something like that, ignore the dog. Don't go right to be like, oh, cute puppy. And, ignore the dog. Let the
dog come to you and sniff them.
If you ignore cats, they like you.
Yeah.
My sister has a cat and I don't like the cat, but it likes me because I ignore it. And so that's what it is. Let the dog get used to for humans, let them get used to the sense. For me, it's when a person approaches my dog.
Yeah.
Then just stop. We find that actually when Maple, I don't know, last year when she was like a year old, when we would go for walks and someone was walking a dog, she would freeze. She would just, because she was like nervous, she's like, and so we just freeze. Just wait with her, let the person, the dog pass, and then she'll kind of like be like, oh, what's going on? And then carry on. And so it's stepping just out of the way.
I would just encourage
waiting, letting the person pass. So then they learn that like, cool, this person's not threatening. And then if you do know people or friends or family,
reward your dog as well. Like if your dog, is just there on the curb and it lets the other person go past them, reward that dog and talk to them. Constantly try to keep them engaged, being like, yes, good job. You're doing so well. Like, let this person.
If your dog is like growling and barking at the person, well, that's more of an aggressive, reactive behavior. And that's probably work with a trainer, because there could be multiple reasons for that. But if they're just very shy and nervous, just sit there. Just let them pass. Yeah, and like Magda said, reward them. And then when you do find friends or family members that your dog's not too familiar with, and let them just stand there and like crouch down and put their hand out, let the dog at its, like Maple does that. She gets a bit nervous when someone puts their hand out. She'll like be stretching forward, being like, do I want to come see you? Yeah. And then she's fine.
And
just give it a couple of minutes.
Like, it's a stranger that's approaching your dog. Like, what if a stranger approached you? You'd be like, what the hell? What are you doing, right? But like, if they had candy or pizza and they were like, hey, I've got candy and pizza, I'd be like, okay, let's hang out, right? Yeah. Let's talk about life or something. So it's kind of like the same idea. Just like make that... If you know the person and you want your dog to socialize with that person, give them something that your dog finds rewarding, and just take your time and get your dog to kind of, just slow it down a little
everything
bit.
Takes longer than you think. That's probably another good tip. Dog training takes way longer than you think it will take.
And don't force your dog either.
You watch a 15-minute YouTube video and you think it's easy? No, that takes weeks to get to that point, if not months. So just remember that. And if don't go too fast as well.
Yeah, dog trainers make it look so easy on YouTube, right? Oh, this is how you make them sit. And it's like, okay. And then, when you don't get it, first 5-10 times, you kind of get frustrated and discouraged, being like, what the hell am I doing wrong? But like, that is completely normal. Like, it just takes time for your dog to like realize and process what's going on.
Yeah. And one day it'll just get it.
And some dogs are slower than the others, right? It's completely up to the dog. Yeah. It's not necessarily anything that you are doing wrong. Especially like basic obedience stuff. Like there's literally not a wrong way to do it. No. You can't hurt your dog by teaching them basic obedience. Yeah, unless you force your dog into sits or stays or whatever.
So just consistency, slow progress is okay, and a lot of positive reinforcement.
Yes.
I don't know if this question is related to training. Jill asked, what about teething? What do you do with puppies that
I mean, that's yeah.
What about teething?
Yeah, well, what about it in the sense, is your dog chewing everything? Are they biting your hands? If you can elaborate, we do have some advice.
Teeth like falling out, like that's normal.
Yeah, if you can just elaborate on exactly, like, because when dogs are teething, they chew a lot of things. If that's what you mean, because we actually had a podcast episode, I think, about that as well.
Teething?
No, we talked about them chewing things.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember.
Just remove everything from your house that you can possibly
I don't know. We'll
remove.
see if she's still there and wants to elaborate on it. We can wait a second.
I think
if you don't want your dog to chew something, remove it. Like it's that simple.
It's
Shoes, put them away.
And it's annoying, but that is the number one advice. It's you're setting your dog. So everyone says dog training. Good dog training is about setting your dog up for success. If your dog is teething and you have a puppy and they're chewing cables, shoes, laces, whatever it is, and you're leaving it out, you're setting them up to fail. Unless you're like constantly 100% supervising them and if they get up, you're following them, which you probably aren't. So it's if they're teething, and they will chew things because, well, one, they explore with their mouth, and two, I assume like babies, they hurt. They want to just bite on things.
And it just feels good when they chew on things. But like, tell them, like, correct it maybe. It depends on the dog. But also, if you do happen to leave something lying around, like a shoe or whatever, remove the shoe, give them something else instead. Be like, okay, this is the thing that I want you to chew on, not the shoe, right? Yeah. So it's important to provide them with things that they can actually chew on, so you can teach them, like, this is okay, this is not okay, right? Like they need that clarity, because otherwise, if they continue on doing these things that you don't want them to do, they just will think it's okay.
And Alicia, like we said, remove them. So tell him he can't wear shorts anymore. He just can't wear them. That problem solved. There you go. Yeah, just remove them. Tell him no shorts for you until the teething is over. I'm sure. I mean, if he wants to put pants on, he can, but whatever.
Put the shorts away.
I know a lot of dog parents give them like a Kong that's frozen. That helps.
Yeah. Oh, ice cubes, anything frozen. We do ice cubes. You do frozen, like, vegetables, carrots, celery, cucumbers, things like that.
You can freeze anything.
You can do like Nyla bones as well. Like puppy, if it's a puppy, do like the puppy Nyla bones, because they're softer than like the adult ones.
We have some recipes in our ebook for like frozen treats.
Yes, we do. We'll send you the link to put in the email. We have a dog enrichment free ebook on like an enrichment guide on things you can do with your dog to keep them enriched and mentally stimulated. And so there's some recipes to put on like the lick mats or Kongs. So we forgot to mention that before our call. We have it. It's on the website as well, but we'll give the link to you, Faith, and you can throw it in the email.
Great. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of things. We went 22 minutes over time, which is great. This is really amazing session, and I've definitely learned a lot. I hope the audience here also have learned a lot. Anything else you guys want to add on before we wrap up?
No, I mean, obviously, if you want, I mean, we kind of really were on the surface for a lot of these topics. Like you said, the whole point of us and what we do is the podcast, and we have multiple guests on, and we're not, as we mentioned, we are open to different things. So we don't just have one trainer and we only have them. We have different trainers that train different techniques. Again, all positive reinforcement. Yeah, we don't have any abusive trainers. Obviously, we don't want that, but all positive reinforcement trainers. So it's good to, when we talk about specific topics with a lot of them, instead of just general training. So if there's anything you want to learn more about it in depth, just let us know. Send us, the Woofi Show is all of our social media handles as well. And we can find a guest. I mean, we have a list of episodes waiting to be published. So we might have already discussed it. It's just, we don't want to put them all out every day. We have a backlog. So we have tons of information to learn more, and it's a podcast and YouTube. So it's all free.
if you have any questions at all, just tell us. We can discuss it next time or whatever, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing this, so we would love to.
Yeah, do it again. There's so much more to talk about. Like, as I was saying, it's so surface level. I feel like you can really deep dive in everything.
And you don't have to pay. per hour for our time either. So there you go.
Yeah.
Like trainers. But
All
again,
most of your questions have been answered. Hopefully, I'm trying to catch all of them, bring it up. So yeah, this is super valuable. Thank you guys. I will link your information in the email as well. So everybody, you can find Brian Magda at the Woofi Show. Instagram is the Woofi Show. YouTube channel is the Woofi Show. And then there's also the Woofi Shop. So
which is our store with we sell like clothing and artwork and home. It's everything for dogs, but for humans. So the complete. So Faith has everything for your dog. We have everything that you would want as a dog parent to show your love to dogs. So.
Yeah, is the one you're wearing one of your merch?
Yeah. So this weekend is for dog sports because we do dog sports.
I just have my Woofi hoodie on.
We have a lot of fun things in artwork, and we're constantly adding things to our store. So. But
amazing. So
so go and follow us and love us. Do this again sometime. That was awesome.
Yes, it was really fun. So go follow them, guys, for the value that they've been providing. Subscribe, comment on all of the videos they've posted.
And we have so much more knowledge. Like I said, we've interviewed dozens and dozens of people, and as we mentioned, we've trained our dog from a tiny little puppy to a performing super dog. At least,
and we're gonna get a puppy.
In
like a year. We are.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like next year we're gonna get another dog, and I think anyway.
So we're gonna go through this whole thing again, and it's gonna be so much fun. I love puppies.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. So I will email all of the audience here with all of the information, with the gift cards to both Sniff Bark and the Woofi Shop, all the details to the Woofi Shop as well as the recording for this show. I assume we'll post it on YouTube as well, so you can find it there on our YouTube channel.
Also in your Facebook group, it will automatically be there.
Right. Yeah. So
I just want to thank everyone for actually wanting to be here and to listen to us. I think that's amazing. It makes us so.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because you're taking interest in your dog's life.
Yeah, it makes me quite emotional. Not gonna lie. People actually came to listen. That's awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful. You guys are the top 1% of dog parents. It sounds cliche, but And if there's topics that you want to hear us talk about, hopefully we can invite Brian Magda again, and we can talk about some other topics. Let us know in the community or anywhere that we can see, and maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Faith, for having us.
Bye.
We'll see you in the Facebook group. Bye, everyone.
Bye.